Welcome to Bogota, Colombia. Bogota is an amazing city. It's a huge and sprawling city made up of many different districts. This was my first time visiting Bogota, and it was specifically to learn the real food scene here. And this trip did not disappoint.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Bogota, Colombia. And here we are at the Plaza de Bolivar in the literal center of the city. And we're in front of this beautiful cathedral, which has a history behind it. And that history is critical to the story of the restaurant that we are going to go to this morning. The restaurant is called La Puerta Falsa, which means in Spanish, the false door. And the way the story goes, the legend has it, the church was organizing a festival for the Virgin of Carmen, for the Virgin Mary. And the organizers of the festival had forgotten to include a prominent member of the community. Actually, even the history books don't know what this woman's name was, honestly. So she found out that she was left out of the planning. So she said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cook. And I'm going to serve all the festival planners who are organizing this. And I'm not inviting the priest, who is the guy putting this whole thing together. So she did that. The priest found out that he wasn't invited to eat the food. He came up to her by some authority, I don't know, and said, you're not allowed to feed anybody unless you're going to feed everybody who comes to the festival. She goes, okay. And she did. And that's how her food started becoming well known. When a certain piece of land, which we're going to walk over to shortly at the restaurant is still at that location. When it became available, she asked her husband to buy the property, which he did. And the way the story goes, she wanted that so that the priest would smell her cooking every morning as a reminder. That's kind of an interesting story, but enough talking, let's walk over and see this famous restaurant. It's just up the block here. Interesting fact, this restaurant is more than 200 years old, making it the oldest restaurant in Bogota. Actually, could even be the oldest restaurant in Colombia. So it is historical, which is one of the primary reasons I wanted to try it out. As I said, 1816 it was founded. Bit of history. Let's go in and see what they got. Buenos. It is tamales, no seasoning. It's just the natural flavors, which is, how often do you hear that? It's typical. Chocolate and water, or no milk, no leche, no cream, no milk. Chocolate in hot water, basically.
They came to Colombia to make a contest about who has the best traditional food. They won with the best plate of chocolate and tamale. They won.
Of course, numero uno. So what happened was, after winning the contest, he had tried to set up this restaurant in the United States. And he decided against it because the herbs and ingredients that are local to this region we cannot get or replicate in the United States. So rather than basically fail at the venture, not being able to reproduce these tamales, he decided not to go ahead with the plan. So interesting, that would have been pretty awesome. Could you imagine a big chain of Puerta Falsas in the United States? Very cozy. I hope it could hold the Chubby Gourmet. Santa Fereño. Chocolate Santa Fereño. Fereño completo. We have to get a changua. I'll wait until it comes out. I'll explain to you what that is. Definitely unique. And apparently you either love it or hate it. This is the famous tamale that he was telling us about. And it's got to be one of the biggest freaking tamales I've ever seen. I smell the leaf actually more. It has a very fresh aroma as the steam comes out. I'm sure that's going to be delicious. I see some pieces of chicken in there. It should be interesting. I want to get a whiff of the famous cocoa that he was describing. Oh, chocolate lover's delight. Death by chocolate. That should be interesting, especially with these little rolls and a piece of cheese, it looks like. Some type of queso. I'm anxious to try it. We have one more thing coming called changua, which I promised I will describe. Oh, there's a lot of chicken in there. Oh my God. This is the changua that I was speaking about. And Julian, correct me if I get something wrong here. It's basically hot water, the sopa, the soup. With milk. Oh wait, the soup is made up. I missed an important part. It's leche, milk. So hot milk with an egg cracked open. That is some bread soaking in there as well. And some kind of, it looks like dill actually. I'm gonna try a piece. Cilantro. So that is the unique dish, changua, which I've been told you either love it or you hate it. Knowing me, I'll probably love it. I'm gonna start with the tamal and then go to the changua. Oh, the chicken is so tender. And you're not, when he said the no spices, just the flavors of the natural ingredients. Very, very good. You would never think something without seasoning could taste so great. I'm just shocked, actually. He was explaining no seasoning, no condiments at all, just the natural ingredients. And it works. Delicious. Biscuit, actually. Homemade biscuit.
It's called almohavana.
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 All right, I'm not gonna butcher this word anymore. I'm gonna call it a biscuit, damn it. Now, traditionally, with the hot cocoa, there's this cheese, which I haven't tried yet to identify exactly the type of cheese it is, but I'm supposed to break the cheese up and dip it in the hot cocoa, like so. I love chocolate and I love cheese. Yeah, I'm hoping it melts and gets all gooey-ooey. That's a highly technical cooking term, gooey-ooey. Check that out. I don't think they're gonna melt all the way, but they're gonna be soft, that's for sure. Here goes nothing. Wow. Que rico. Very rich. That is an intense chocolate flavor. It's a mild cheese. It's not like a sharp cheese or anything like that. Nice soft cheese, and I'm gonna dip this. I'm not sure if that's traditional or not, but that's what I do. Quite awesome. And it's totally by accident that I'm saving the changua for last. Now we're cooking with Crisco. And there is a beautiful poached egg. And this is the best part of poached eggs, when you crack this sucker and the semi-cooked yolk pours out. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Are you looking? Definitely unique. The milk definitely changes everything. It makes it very different. And the little bread cubes soaking up the milk with the cilantro, the only seasoning. I like it. It's good. Definitely different. A very unique tamale with no seasoning, no salt, no pepper, no spices, nada. And believe me, it doesn't taste bland at all. The changua, Totally different, new experience for me. And an extremely intense chocolate, hot chocolate, with delicious cubes of cheese. Pretty incredible. I'm not exaggerating. Very delicious, very unique, very different. A wonderful staff, great history. And actually, I know where the name of the restaurant, the False Door, I'll be showing you where the False Door originally was. This is the original foundation, the original building. I'll show you where the False Door is. So stay tuned.
Es muy tradicional.
Sí.
El
Ají.
Con el tamal, la longaniza o los huevos.
Oh.
¿Sí? Es picante, salsa picante.
This is a traditional hot sauce. Traditional in this area, I might say. So it's a mixture of the ají, which is the hot pepper. I think there's some sweet pepper and garlic in there as well. And I'm gonna try a little bit. Oh, look at that big piece of, I think that's a big piece of garlic. Let's kick this tamale up a notch. Definitely picante, spicy. You know, I gotta say too, my favorite thing of all things in this restaurant, you're not bombarded with salt. So many restaurants you go to, what's the first thing you taste? Salt. Because they over-season. That doesn't happen here. The ingredients speak for themselves. And that's a totally new experience for me. I'm so glad we came here today. And that the owner was kind enough, Carlos was kind enough to receive us and let us shoot the kitchen and give us a little history lesson. I could get used to this every day. And we have two juices.
Guanábana.
Guanábana y
Lulo.
lulo. This is a juice from a fruit that's only regional here in this section of Colombia also. So I have no idea what it's going to taste like. I've never had a lulo before. Almost smells like grapefruit. Let's see what it tastes like though. Not as strong, very mild, like if you can imagine a minimally sour tangerine or grapefruit. So it's very refreshing because it's nice and cold and it's not like wow with sour. So it's very tasty. Guanábana. I don't believe this fruit is native to this area only. So let's see what this baby tastes like.
It's my favorite one.
Like guava. It tastes like guava. The guava fruit, not exactly the same. Ah, wow. Otherwise very refreshing also. You're not hit with a lot of sour or a lot of sweet. It's just the flavor of the fruit and very refreshing. Excelente. If I just it's a close second, a close call. I'd say this one, definitely. It's more refreshing. They're both fabulous. But if I had to choose, I would pick the guanábana. Let me give you a little history on how changua originated. This area, this is now Colombia, was colonized by the Spaniards. When the Spaniards came over, they brought lots of things with them, one of which are cows. Cows are not indigenous to South America. And the native people, the Chibcha tribe, which was formerly of this area, I don't believe they exist anymore, sadly, they combined Spaniard ingredients like milk with cilantro and other herbs which they grew and were accustomed to. And that is the origin of changua, how it came to be. So it's got a little bit of a history to it. It's not some crazy thing that, well, maybe it is, but it's not something that some guy just made up one day. It's actually very interesting how the indigenous folks used Spaniards brought and molded it together. Richard, sí, Carlos.
Complacido.
Oh, gracias.
Buen día.
For your hospitality,
Thank you.
for bringing us in, interviewing with us, showing us your kitchen. It was a beautiful experience. I love your food. It was excelente.
Me complace. Con
Muchas
mucho
gracias.
gusto. Es su casa.
Oh, gracias. I like that. Thank you. As I promised, I was going to show you the false door. or the origin of the false door. As I mentioned, this is the original foundation, the original restaurant. And this, where the statue of the Virgin Mary is right now, is where the original false door to the restaurant came from. Now, of course, it's built into the formal restaurant you see today, but they kept this as a memento to show this is La Puerta Falsa.
The owner of the restaurant wanted to even give us a discount. I mean, off the already incredibly low price. I thanked him for his time and generosity. Then I left him a really nice tip for his workers. They were just so amazingly kind and accommodating, which I've actually found to be the case with the people of Bogota, generally speaking. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we visit an upscale restaurant's kitchen and another where I am personally taught how to make a classic traditional Colombian dish. Until next time, hasta lasagna.